Hey, what is up guys? Roman here from Smartphone Republic, and this is the blue Vivo 4. This device comes out at only 5.5mm thin. It is made with aluminum band around the sides and a piano black front and back finish. However, it also comes in a white and gold version. The front and back is made out of Corning Gorilla Glass 3, while the sides of the phone is made out of aluminum. This copies the design trends of the Sony Xperia Z and the iPhone, considering it has aluminum and glass front and back. It's safe to say that the blue Vivo 4 is the most premium Android handset to this day. Even when unboxing the device, I noticed great attention to detail. They gave you a lot of extra accessories such as a case, a free screen protector, and all the goodies such as premium headphones and a charger. Not to mention that even the box of the phone has a nice texture to it and looks better than most other device boxes out there. On the back of the box you do have the specs and features of the phone. Onto specs now. We have the octa-core 1.7 GHz processor, 2GB of RAM and the Mali 450 GPU. With no LTE or NFC on board, this phone compromises by having HSPA Plus and OTG. The Vivo 4 is a gorgeous phone and remarkably thin, with minimal bezel on the screen. However, the top and the bottom of the screen does have some bezels, but it still looks really nice. The headphone jack is on the bottom, the charging port on the top, and the power button on the left side of the device, which is quite annoying at first. However, you do get used to it, with the volume rockers on top of the power button still on the left side of the device. Even though it's thin, it is hard to grip, and it's quite slippery since the aluminium polished sides. Exactly how thin is this device? Well, the Galaxy S5 is 8.1mm thick, the iPhone 5 7.6mm thick, and the iPod Touch 5th Gen is 6.1mm thin. Being the thinnest device in the world has its ups and downs. Firstly, as you can see, it crushes benchmarks, performing on average against the Galaxy S4 and HTC One M7, which are last year's devices. However, this phone is still priced at $360. Real-world usage was also good, as I used this under Vodafone's network in the Melbourne region. Call quality was good and the in-ear speaker was loud and crisp. Software-wise, it is running Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, with KitKat around the corner, promised by Blue at the end of June. However, we are in mid-July and no KitKat so far in Australia. The phone has a Navi launcher theme over it, which I liked. However, it was laggish and slow, so I did swap it for Nova Launcher. And Nova Launcher is faster, and I put a Galaxy S5 theme over it, because I like the AMOLED screen and the colors pop, and the software experience so far has been pretty good. Everything from web surfing to scrolling is always fast and responsive, frame rates are always high, and web pages load just fine. The device handles light games with ease, such as Clash of Clans and Angry Birds, and even 3D games such as Real Racing 3. Thanks to the Mali 450 powerful GPU, you get a constant 60 frames per second with no stutter or lag at all, even when the device heats up a bit at the back. Now onto the camera. The camera experience on the Vivo 4 is really similar to Samsung devices. I like the simple and clean design, and the photo quality I didn't really like, as it was comparable to the Xperia Z's camera of last year. So it does use Sony's XMR sensor, which takes great photos, especially in HDR mode or with good lighting. However, in low light it does struggle to be a good camera. I also noticed that the 5-megapixel front camera has a wide angle lens, and you can fit a lot of people in them selfies. And people who like taking selfies will also really enjoy this phone. However, still, the camera is not the best, but it's on par with last year's devices. Battery life wise, this thing lasts around 8 to 9 hours with light to medium usage. However, will vary depending on your own usage. The speaker is loud, even though the phone is thin. In order for the device to be 5.5mm thin, it had to use a Super AMOLED screen. So this is the same screen as a Samsung Galaxy S4's. With decent brightness, great viewing angles, and really good contrast, this display is amazing. It was amazing last year and still is amazing this year. In conclusion guys, the Vivo 4 is a great phone and is also the slimmest handset in the world, and at only $360 it's a great price. Even though it does compromise a little bit by lacking LTE and having a small battery, I think the KitKat update should improve the battery life, and I'm fine with 3G because my carrier doesn't even support LTE. And if you're someone who's looking for a budget Android phone who wants the best of the best looks, hardware and software, then I definitely recommend the Vivo 4 for you, as it's an amazing phone and you'll get a lot of questions in public if you have a phone that's 5.5mm thin. And the Vivo 4, in 6 words, is simply more than just a pretty device. I'm Smartphone Republic, and I'll see you guys in the next video.